Live now with Holland. There you go. Artia jerks. And I don't know if anybody's in because I can't see the window, but if you are and I'm not talking to dead air, hello, and give me 1 sec and we will be ready to go. Okay, there we go. Yes, Tony. Okay, so nobody's in just yet, so I think we're gonna be okay, cool. Well, since we are technically broadcasting anyway, nobody's here. Dude, I have, while we're waiting for people to come in, oh my God, like, I'm gonna choke. WonderCon. Like, today was terrible because I was preparing for it. Like, I had to, like, there was a big clusterfuck that happened, like, at 5 p.m. And so, like, I had to take care of it because it was, like, a scheduling misconception. And like, it set me back an entire hour. And I just had to, like, run to Sarah's and get her cats fed. And I was going to come back here and, like, have it all ready. And suddenly Twitch doesn't work on Mac. So, yeah. So I guess we're already recording, so even though we don't have like an audience in just yet because they're really used to Twitch, I'm just gonna go for the broadcast and then that way I can cut it for the channel. So, hello humans! Welcome to the Woman Up podcast. This is episode number 2 and I am Catrina. With me today is Holland Farkas.
Hello. I am not Sarah.
She is not Sarah. Sarah is actually upstate right now, playing video games. So
upstate California.
Everything above like the San Fernando Valley or like the Santa Barbara area. Just everything above that is like, I don't know my geography. But we are here today to kind of spice up the podcast on our episode 2 episode because who knows? Let's just throw it to the side. Let's just do whatever you want. No, we will be back to our normal format as of next week, and everything will be hunky-dory. But until then, we're going to look at the upcoming entertainment season and kind of give our feedback on like what we're excited for and specifically what Holland's excited for because she recently moved to California and has been buried in geek culture since.
Yeah. Buried is a good word.
Buried is a good word. So tell us a little bit about yourself and where you came from.
About myself. So my name is Holland. I'm finished up my last semester of college. I go to Emerson College. I'm at the LA campus this semester. I'm studying film production with a minor in photography. I feel like I know a lot of people out here because I used to technically still do kind of work with Geek and Sundry. I used to be on the vlogs channel and now I'm not, but I am interning there and I contribute to the website sometimes. I guess I had an article go up this week, so that was cool. So I'm currently actually job hunting and apartment hunting at the same time, which is proving to be very stressful but exciting because I want to stay out in California and I graduate in a month.
Well, the graduation part is really exciting to look forward to.
Except but I have to fly back to Boston. That's expensive, guys.
That's very expensive.
That's like $400 on top of the $400 I have to pay for my taxes, on top of a down payment on an apartment.
And then all of your East Coast friends are always like, "So when are you gonna come? Like, why can't you?"
I'm not even gonna have time to see anyone because I'm gonna like go home for a weekend because I'm gonna have a job hopefully, so I can't be like, "Oh, bye." Yeah,
no vacation. See you later. It's important. It's what runs this horrible town.
I literally just got my hair cut, so if I'm touching my hair all the time, that's it, because that's what happens when you get your hair cut.
Yeah, no, I chopped it recently as well in the back, so it's kind of like, it's fidgety because you're so used to all the length and you're like, where is it?
Yes.
So to update you guys on some news this week, We have had some big announcements regarding Star Wars, so I'm going to get them out of the way first because that's what I know best. Or actually, let's go ahead and jump into, did you get to check out the Nintendo Direct at all?
Nope.
So there was a Nintendo Direct today, and we got some new announcements for Smash, and the internet, like, exploded. Lucas is coming back to Smash, so that's really exciting. He's going to be another playable character, and that was a really big announcement that came out of the Direct. They have these adorable Yarn Yoshi amiibos that are coming out that you can now play with. So if you didn't catch the Nintendo Direct, that literally just happened this afternoon. So make sure you check out. Yeah, make sure you check out Nintendo's YouTube channel and their website so that you can catch up and get your ass some more amiibo, because they're a terrible, addicting thing, which is why I've not started yet, because I know I will fall for it. Also in the news is the Star Wars This Is Madness bracket, and it is a parody of the March Madness bracket. And the reason it is news to this podcast is because today somebody tried and failed to dox me because I said that Jar Jar Binks sucks.
What?
Yeah, there's a giant, like, organized group that's, like, voting and creating bots for Jar Jar so that he can, like, win. Like, he won against Padme by, like, a landslide.
That's
and
weird.
yeah, so, like, he went up against Captain Rex from the Clone Wars today, and he lost really, really hard because the StarWars.com team have limited and blocked out bots. And some dude, like, apparently tried to order pizza to an address I haven't lived at for 5 years. And I was like, that's pretty pathetic. So
that's insane. Yeah, I don't, like, hate Jar Jar Binks, but only because I just think he's funny. He's harmless. He is
a funny, harmless character.
Yeah.
And he is not better than Padme.
No, I don't think so.
No. I mean, one of them, like, saved the Republic, and the other one kind of caused everybody problems. So, yeah. Gosh, what else do we have? There are quite a few things happening in the tech community right now. There was a giant, like, lawsuit that was unfortunately lost by Ellen Pao, who is a developer up in the Silicon Valley. But the great thing about it is that it has spawned a lot of talk about women in tech and how businesses can be more welcoming. So I think that, like, with every little bad thing that happens, there's something kind of positive because it's brought to, like, the forefront, and we're all like, look at this shit. Look at this shit. This is stupid. Fix it. Yeah.
Exactly.
So yeah, is there any recent important things that have popped up that you care for?
Recently, I've been, like, really wrapped up in all the X-Files stuff for the past, like, week. That's literally what I've just, like.
The X-Files are coming back.
That was only announced a week ago.
Yeah.
For some reason, I'm like, we've been about this forever. But it's literally, like, the X-Files are coming back and they're shooting it this summer.
So exciting.
Like, so soon. Dave Duchovny is releasing an album.
I know, he's like all about it.
Yeah, I know. But then he released a single. I actually really like the single, and I accidentally bought it on my mom's Amazon account. So she's like, "Oh, I'll listen to it," and then I was like, "Oh, it's actually pretty good," and she hated it.
Oh no!
So,
oh my god, that's terrible.
I don't know. I was expecting it to be really bad, and, like, I liked it. So I'm just literally. What other news do I care about? Well, Twin Peaks is old. Twin Peaks might not be. Twin Peaks is having issues.
I think Twin Peaks is kind of always relevant.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a weird, within the fan culture, it's kind of like a classic. There are a couple, I just remembered that Stephen Amell got cast as Casey Jones for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
From Arrow.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2 just found the reason people are going to buy tickets.
Yes.
Like,
I never saw the one that came out because I heard bad things.
I heard terrible. I actually have not seen it either. All of my coworkers went to see it, and they were like, it's great if you love to laugh at terrible things. So I was really like, I just couldn't go see it because I grew up with the Ninja Turtles.
Well, I really like the live action ones that came out in, like, the 90s.
Yeah.
Because those are the ones that I grew up watching. And I like those.
Megan Fox is not my April O'Neil, guys. I'm sorry. I like her better when she plays Chupacabra. It's like,
yeah,
that movie was great.
That's, like, one of the only movies that I, like, like Megan. Like, it's weird. I don't even hate Megan Fox.
Oh,
but
no.
I think Jennifer's Body is like the only movie with Megan Fox that I'm like, yes. Because then you have what, like Transformers?
Yeah, and it's crazy because like when that movie came out first, I was like, oh, it's just Ginger Snaps again. It's gonna be
Ginger
stupid.
Snaps is
So good. And then I went and watched Jennifer's Body, and it was really good too. So like,
I just think
whatever.
it's because like it's written by Diablo Cody, so all of her scripts have that really like awesome dialogue, and like it really works.
Yeah, that was a great movie. I mean, okay, so we have Stephen and Mel today as the last piece of like kind of pop culture news that I have. The My Site Movie Pilot put out an article saying that Robert Pattinson was cast as Negan in The Walking Dead, and it like exploded, and like we caused the internet this giant heart attack, and we're like on like 5 top 10 sites that are like top 10 coolest things.
See, that's why I don't know any updates, because I ignored the internet today because I hate April Fool's Day because I fall for everything. That's a good one though. Well, because there were some pretty weak ones today. There were rumors going around that like John Hamm or something was going to be Negan, and this was like a while ago, and like it's a character that's like a fan favorite in the comics, so but I don't know, because now that they're doing the spin-off and stuff, like how much are they actually going to do with like The Walking Dead anymore?
I don't know, but I'm not surprised it starts in LA, so
yeah,
everybody's going to be a zombie here anyway one day.
Probably.
So lots of Walking Dead non-news, but the main topic, I guess, we're going to just launch right into that. This might be a little shorter. Usually Sarah's around to offer me a little guidance, and I hope all of you kind of bear with me as I try to lead this podcast. But I met Holland when she was a movie vlogger, and now we're kind of all into pop culture and everything. So I kind of wanted to like count down maybe like our top 5, like the absolute things we are so excited for, like over the summer or the rest of the year. So if you have one on mind, we can talk about it.
I want to say, okay, I'm pretty excited for Age of Ultron, specifically because I think this is going to have more of a Whedon feel to it, because I liked like the Avengers, like the first movie that came out, but like something about it didn't really scream Joss Whedon to me. Like I thought it was going to be darker, and from all that I've seen and heard about Age of Ultron, it's going to be like actually dark, which is what I want.
It looks like it's going to be pretty heartbreaking.
That's like I love.
Yeah, no, I'm excited.
Joss Whedon. Like that's what I expect when I'm watching Joss Whedon. I'm expecting to be really upset.
Yeah.
And like I love, like I think I like going to see superhero movies because they're like fun. I especially like the Marvel movies usually, but I could. That's what I mean. I feel like that's what Joss does best.
Yeah, absolutely. He has a great command of drama, and like I think bringing in the twins is going to be like that big introduction.
Yeah, and I really like Elizabeth Olsen. I'm so
excited when she was cast. I remember because like Sarah and I, the moment we like, she wanted to do like X-Men Quicksilver, and then I was like, oh well, I'll just do Scarlet Witch because she's not in Days of Future Past, and then like her costume came out, and I was like, So we did that for the Captain America premiere, but yeah, I'm really excited for it. You know, Marvel's got like an interesting toss-up of movies this year. I mean, we've got Age of Ultron, and then like soon after that we have Ant-Man, and we haven't like heard crap about it. Like we got that teaser, and it was like, oh.
I almost feel like it might be better that way, because my biggest issue sometimes is I know way too much about movies going into them, and then I'll be really disappointed when like they're not great. I think something's going to be amazing, and so I don't really have a lot of feelings on Ant-Man. I remember like when Edgar Wright first got taken off of it, I was kind of annoyed because it was the same thing. I was like, oh, Joss Whedon is directing Avengers, this is great. And I was like, oh, Edgar Wright is gonna direct Ant-Man, this is awesome. And then like there was that whole whatever happened, and I was like, oh man, like do I even want to see this movie? Like do I have to like have all this love for Edgar Wright? I feel like I should just like boycott it. But
yeah, because I think only like what his like treatment and like plot outline even barely remained after that, and it's just like it kind of like it's gonna be interesting to see how Marvel pulls it off, because like this might be like their doomed movie, and there's like a lot of tension riding on it, so it's kind of we'll see if Marvel continues the streak. I
mean, I like Paul Rudd.
I like Paul Rudd. I loved him in Parks and Rec. He was great. If he could just play that character, that'd be cool.
No, I like him in everything he's in. I was gonna say like my favorite is just anything with Paul Rudd, actually. Just any of it.
Fair enough. I like him. He's pretty funny. So like that's why I was excited when he got cast, because I was like, well, it's gonna be Scott Lang and he's more comedic and like it's gonna work. And then the trailer was like, everything is serious and a one-liner.
Oh, and then I know this isn't a movie, but Daredevil starts like next week.
Yes, how exciting!
I'm really excited because the Daredevil movie is like, I don't know, it's just.
It's the reason Batfleck is getting so much flack right now.
Right? And then this Daredevil not only is it a different Daredevil, but it has Rosario Dawson. I love Rosario Dawson. She's another person
love her
that
so
I will
much.
watch her in anything.
Yeah, that's how they got me to watch Sin City again.
Yeah,
because I was I don't know about like I'm so shaky on that movie because I like read the comics like a very long time ago. Yeah, Sin City, and so like. Seeing and I was really excited with like the new plot with like Ava Green and stuff.
Yeah, Sin City 2 was awful. I tried right after I saw it. I was with two of my friends and they were like, "Oh man, that was so bad." And like for the first like day or two, I was like, "But it had these positive aspects." I was like, "Ava Green looked really good, right?" And I was just like, but the problem was I realized that like Jessica Alba's acting was like the highlight of that movie, and that's when I realized that we had a problem, because like if she was one of the better actors,
that's saying a lot, dude. I have a personal thing against her now.
That's a movie that I was so excited for. I've been looking forward to it for like over a year, probably like 2 years, because they announced that they were trying to do that for a while. It was like Rosario Dawson and Eva Green, and I thought they would like interact, but there's literally a scene where like she's in the foreground and the other one's in the background, and then when you watch the behind the scenes, like none of the actors even interacted.
Oh,
everyone was shot at a green screen, and they did the same thing for like the first one, but the first one is so much better. Like this one was really bad. It's just Sin City 2
it was just a big like I you know, with the whole like anything with Jessica Alba in it has me like whoa, and like especially now oh my god. So I went to the live reading for Empire Strikes Back a couple months ago, and everyone was like psyched because like Ellen Page was going to be Han Solo, Mark Hamill showed up to do the Emperor and Ben Kenobi, and like Rainn Wilson did Chewbacca and only Chewbacca, and it was like setting up to be really good. And then you heard her first Leia line, and it was like, and I'm like, Leia yells, like Leia yells as soon as she starts in that movie, she's yelling because like her base is falling apart. Yeah. So like understandably. But like, oh my god, it was so bad. So now I'm just like Jessica Alba was like on my shit list. I'm ruining her. Yeah, I don't know.
I've just seen too many movies in theaters where I've like spent money and just been angry, and she's spent no on them.
Yeah.
Sorry, Jessica Alba, if you're watching this podcast.
But speaking of Jessica Alba, I'm excited for the new. I don't know if I'm excited. Like there is a sense of excitement that's kind of a thrill that you get, like right before you get on a roller coaster that like people have died on before. Like that is how I feel about Fantastic Four. I'm like, this could be really great. I could also die.
Yeah, it's weird. I remember the like really bad video games of those movies more than the movies themselves. I think I might have only seen the first one. And then, because my brother had the game, and I just like would play it, and like even though it was bad, it was like it was like fun. I love playing bad video games, and I don't remember. I feel like I don't remember the movie at all, but I remember the game.
All I remember from those movies, I remember the Silver Surfer surfing, and
I don't think I saw one.
Chris Evans was shirtless with fire, and there was they were supposed to get married, Reed and Sue, and then Stanley got rejected from their wedding, and something went wrong and they fought a bad guy. And that's what I know about the Fantastic Four and what I remember. So I'm interested in this movie, especially just because of like the history of things that have happened leading up to it. And the fact that like the cast is like, you know, if you're on contract, you support your movie no matter what. But they seem like they're really invested in, because you don't send your cast out to do press that early and have them be that lively and go like, I just got fresh off set. We had so much fun, and I'm going to talk about this actor because we're friends and blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, that could really, the chemistry and everything could be really what saves this movie. But again, we haven't heard too much from it, so I want to see what everyone thinks will bomb do really well, just to be like, like, you were wrong, so.
That's always nice.
So I think I mean, the other big thing that like I would hope that everyone is really excited for would be the Force Awakens, and I've talked about it like 6 million times over on this podcast. I don't need to tell anybody why I'm excited about it. I'm getting like my lightsabers in tomorrow for Celebration, so that is what I'm excited about. Is Star Wars Celebration, which comes up later this month, and tickets are still on sale.
I'm hopefully I got like a press pass, but that just like the week sucks for me, and I feel like I'm only gonna be there the weekend. I'm gonna try and be there both days. Yeah, so hopefully Friday.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm so excited because Friday has like a really cool like main stage lineup too. Like a lot of big guys are going up. So like if we hit up Friday, that'll be pretty good. Friday or Saturday, like those are the 2 days. But
stupid semester ending. Things.
Oh yeah, that's
right. What it is really.
But Star Wars is like educational, right? You're in space. Like you can tell them about what space looked like when you were watching the trailer. And the upside though is, and this should have gone in the news section, but it looks as though they're kind of doing like a Marvel style thing where when they debut or when the opening ceremonies panel goes on, which they're going to debut the new trailer, obviously, and some other crazy shit. But when that goes on, that is broadcasting to 23 countries so far. There are different theaters and theater chains that are doing a live cast of that, and I have a feeling that shortly after that's going to hit the internet. So my advice to anyone not going to Celebration is to pay attention to what's going on the digital space, because the Celebration staff seem like they're really trying to like bring it to everybody that go. So for you guys, look for me on camera. Stand in front of every camera at Celebration. Like, hey! I think, gosh, what else is coming out this year that I was really, really excited about? There's like such a huge lineup of like great things coming out either this year or next. And like, I think the biggest highlight would be San Diego Comic-Con for all of those.
That's true.
I am interested in seeing what's happening. Like last year, I remember we had a freaking zip line. Like,
I didn't get to go on the zip line.
I didn't get to go on the zip line either.
Like Comic-Con, I feel like I didn't get to do so many things. Like I didn't get to do any of the Oculus Rift stuff. I mostly was like, also, I don't even know if I'm going this year. I might try and go to San Diego, but I don't know if I'm going to Comic-Con. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, well, the upside is you can kind of just go down there and like you don't have to. Yeah. It just sucks that like you can't get into like Hall H and stuff. But
I was barely there last year.
That's
like one panel.
I don't like to trash talk like Comic-Con at all, but it's like
and there's so many things to do offsite. There's just like
I mean, I don't think Comic-Con like doomed itself by giving itself so many offsites. I think they were like, we're gonna sell out no matter what. Like we might as well just rent out all this space. So it's cool because it's like them saying, you know, come down here anyway and party, but you know, you still can't get it. Like so yeah, I'm excited. Like, I mean, with Comic-Con, I'm always just excited about the offsites. Like, I'm obviously I can't wait for the news and like what's going on. But as it seems like Marvel's not even going, and a lot of studios are just like, because they have no releases around there. Like by then Marvel will have already put out 2 of its movies for the year, and like we know so much about everything else they're doing that like I don't think they have anything to share. So I'm hoping for some kind of like maybe a second like phase of Star Wars promo to kick off at Comic-Con. Like I think that's where a lot of the collectibles and stuff will be. But yeah, I don't know. Are you hoping for anything to come out of that? Like any particular news or?
I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't know what I'm expecting. But I feel like that would make sense. Because like between Celebration and Comic-Con, it's 2 months, 3 months? Yeah,
2 months. So I think because Comic-Con is like a couple of months before like the fall season when the toys are going to start releasing, I think that's like the number one thing we're going to see is like all the merchandise rather than the trailers or any like gameplay on Battlefront, because all that's it.
And Comic-Con is very much a place for people to just like buy shit. They just sell you stuff.
Collector Con. That's what it really was back in the day before Twilight happened. Ruined everything. Not really. You get a bunch of free stuff now, so it's pretty cool.
Get free stuff.
lots and lots. So that's the third thing I'm excited for is swag. So hopefully I'll be able to actually go around and collect some and not be in press rooms back to back, which is something I shouldn't complain about anyway. But yeah, so like, what is your like ultimate, like, what is the one thing that like you have to, like, you basically have to survive this year for?
This year?
Mm-hmm.
God. I don't know, like, I can't even think of, like, other things that are happening this year. I feel like we talked about all the things that I know about. It's weird, because I usually, like, have a timeline set up in my head, like, this comes out this month, and this comes out then, and this comes out then. But, like, as far as stuff, like, I know, like, Daredevil, Game of Thrones is coming back. And then,
That's
like,
right, Game of Thrones!
Yeah, and then, like, Penny Dreadful comes back, and then, like, David Duchovny's new show Aquarius starts, Hannibal comes back. Like, this is literally like how my brain is working right now, and then that's up to the beginning of June.
Yep.
And then at that point, I'm just like, well, I should have a job and an apartment. Like,
is it just me or does like fall season? It's just really blank right now. Like,
I don't.
It kind of seems like everything cuts at summer, and yeah, because
it's not even like like all the shows that I'm looking forward to are coming out in the next few months, and then maybe it'll be time for me to like catch up on stuff, but I can't even think of like other stuff that's coming out in the fall.
Yeah, I have no, and usually by now we have like announcements and stuff, but like all the stuff I'm excited for is like not happening in fall, so it's like we get to like July, and then I'm ready for December after that.
Yeah,
I'm just like, let's just skip, let's just go. But yeah, I don't know, like I think more than anything I am excited to see, and this is gonna of course tie back to Star Wars again because I'm pathetic, but I'm excited to see like how like all these new like rising stars, especially in like the geek space, it looks more and more like they're not afraid to cast like unknowns anymore, or people who are like mildly known or something like that. You know, like Star Wars casting choices were super smart because Adam Driver, Domhnall Gleeson, and Oscar Isaac are all going to be in like, they either are going to be or have already been in like Oscar-worthy movies, like so, and they're all like really great actors. So it's really interesting to see how they kind of set those guys up, and they just kept like people like Daisy Ridley. Like, I don't know if she's not getting work or Star Wars is kind of like, hold on, like reel it in, kiddo. You're about to go like huge and massive. So I'm kind of hoping that like we see, because there's like also a lot of diversity coming out in movies this year. There are a lot of people being cast that would have never been cast, and we have years, I'm sure, to speculate on the new news that Mulan is getting a live action film.
Yes.
So
that's really exciting.
This is going to be a big year to start making those like giant, impactful moves, and we've already seen it happen on TV. We've already like seen it happen in freaking Star Wars. It's so much more colorful now. Like, there's so many more girls, and oh wow, there's a gay person now. It's all pretty crazy. So I think I'm excited for that. I'm excited to hear casting announcements for Mulan, which is something I completely forgot about in our news section. So what do you like? How do you feel about like that news, like especially with Disney just kind of turning on these movies?
I'm excited. I don't know, like I know the Cinderella movie just came out and I haven't seen it yet, and I wasn't really excited about it, but also like I was never really that attached to like Cinderella as a princess. She's probably like I don't know. Arguably, I guess I did watch that movie growing up, but like I just didn't feel like I needed to see like a live action Cinderella. Mulan, on the other hand, I feel like the storyline of Mulan is so much more exciting. It's like they feel like they have so much more they can do with it. Cinderella is like the most basic princess story.
Mulan is like a giant world.
And like ever since Enchanted came out too, Enchanted kind of like encapsulated all of the like major like princesses as far as like Sleeping Beauty and like Cinderella and like probably like Aurora's Sleeping Beauty, which is the other. I'm thinking of like Snow White. Yeah. So all like the basic like white princesses that just like did princess things. Like I feel like she covered all that in Enchanted, and like Enchanted is cute. I mostly watched it because Idina Menzel. But like with Mulan, it's more. There's definitely more action to it, and there's a more kind of like heartfelt story there. Like Mulan makes me cry. Like Mulan is so good. The songs in Mulan are so good. The songs in Mulan are just like. Are amazing. Like I still sing them to this day. So
the amount of times just everyone I know has broken into I'll make a man out of you.
Yeah, exactly.
It just happens. It's like that kinetic energy.
And it'll just be like really like colorful, and I just like think of all the things that they can do with it.
I'm just thinking about that giant mountain scene of all the Huns cascading down the mountain. Oh my God.
It's gonna be an awesome. I'm really, really excited to see what they do with that.
And I think like I haven't seen Cinderella either, but just on that visual aspect, like I think that might be something that Disney might be focusing on, maybe even too much, because I've not heard a thing about Cinderella's story. Like no one has said, oh, this character is my favorite character, or like, oh, I loved it when Rob from Game of Thrones did this, and it's just like, it seems like a normal princess movie, which, you know, if you like those, there's nothing wrong with it. But like I'm thinking more like everybody's talking about the dress, everyone's talking about the colors, everyone's talking. So I feel like Disney has that down pat. It's just a matter of casting completely proper for Mulan. And I mean, not like you don't have to cast strictly Chinese actors, because this is like a huge opportunity for like a lot of Asian actors. So, but you know, just give respect to the characters that, like, you know, everyone grew up with. I don't want to be one of those weirdo my childhood guys about it, but I think especially because it was like in Disney's renaissance, like there are certain things that you have to be delicate with on these movies.
I think that's also hard that someone pointed out when all the news was happening about like Frozen 2 is that these movies are technically being made for children. And I'm like just getting to that age where I'm not a child, I'm an adult apparently. So I can't be mad when they go to make movies for kids. Like, oh, Frozen 2. I don't really think we need a Frozen 2, but like all these kids running around who love Olaf, they totally want Frozen 2, because Frozen is like, that was their Disney movie that came out like for them as children. I mean, I went to go see it, but I was like, what, 20, 21? Like, I was probably not the target audience. I still fucking loved it. But
I mean, like to their credit too, Disney like kind of goes out of their way to do stuff for adults too. Like for the adults that loved Frozen, they had an entire season of Once Upon a Time dedicated to it. That was not for children.
Exactly. Well, I haven't watched it, but okay.
I watched it. I was such a sucker.
I just know the actress who played Elsa was Ella on Fringe. She played the main character's daughter.
That is so cool. Holy shit, I had no idea. I thought she was like completely new. But
that's the only thing I've seen.
She was great. I like went back specifically to see how that went. And I was like really impressed with like both of them. And the plot wasn't all that stupid. So, you know, that was a good turn from normal Once Upon a Time stuff. They mentioned Thor. I don't know why. Whatever.
But why not?
Why not? Disney's just like, we own it. Who cares?
Yeah, right.
Because like
Disney has too much.
There's like a scene.
Is there gonna be like a Star Wars Once Upon a Time?
No. There are like certain things that like are too.
Is there?
You know.
I've never watched Once Upon a Time, but the only thing I know is that I feel like they just do whatever they want.
Yeah, they kind of just fucking do. They might. I don't know.
Just like as press.
When they bring in like Nightmare. Yeah, they'll just bring in Jar Jar. Jar Jar Binks will show up in Storybrooke, and he will be like the Queen's next best friend. He's gonna be like assigned to be her personal assistant. Yeah. And that's the show.
Oh, actually, you know what? Another movie that they're doing. Tim Burton is doing Dumbo.
That's right.
I don't know.
I don't know how to feel about that. Like, I mean, obviously it's animated, right?
No, I think it's live action.
How are you going to do that to a bunch of elephants?
I'm interested to see what that's going to be. I don't know. Like, they're just going to be a really dark Dumbo, and Johnny Depp's going to have elephant ears.
He'll probably be the mouse. I think he'd be the mouse. I don't know. There's so many like wild card movies coming out. Like everyone's talking about all the franchises and we're gonna have this for the next 20 years. But then there's like the other crap that like companies like Disney and like Universal and even Sony are going for. Like they're one shots that are like, here's your childhood, give us money. Like so I don't know how that's. We'll see how it works out.
There are rumors. Was that just a rumor about Toy Story 4? Is that going to be a thing?
That is a thing.
It is a thing?
It is a thing, and the plot apparently has nothing to do with the past 3 movies.
I feel like, because I thought at the end of Toy Story 3 that maybe they'd do something with Bonnie. Is that her name? Like the girl that he gives the toys to? Mm-hmm. But it was a very nice way to, I guess, like finish Toy Story for like us people who grew up with Toy Story.
So, yeah, that's a really that's a completely different point of view. Holy shit. I never even thought about that.
Yeah.
So it could be a Toy Story with Bonnie.
That's what I thought they would do. Because then they don't really have to focus on it. And they can still bring some of the toys in because he gives them to her.
Yeah, she's got them. So that's good.
Yeah.
That is a good, Jesus, I didn't even think about it that way. I thought it was like a complete reboot with like completely new toys and crap. I didn't even think about that.
I mean, that might be what they're doing, but I feel like they'd be wasting this character that they already established.
Yeah, I mean, like even now I see like, I'll see toddlers in like toy aisles going like, I want Buzz. And I'm like, you watch that? Like, holy crap, your parents are keeping it good. Yeah, keeping it real, man. So I'm really, that is something to be really excited about. Holy shit. So it's really cool. I think like the greatest thing about right now is that even though you can obviously tell that a lot of people are like playing on the nostalgia of people who are like, you know, the 18 to 30 demographic, because now we have money.
I don't know why they think we have money.
I don't know why they think we have money all the time, and I don't know why they think we're doing so well in life, but, you know, yeah. But it's really interesting because, like, a part of it, the cynical way, is like they're making these movies to make us spend money on them because they know what we like. Like they could make a dancing pizza movie, and I assure you, like
I like pizza and I like dancing.
The '90s kids are on it; they will be right there. And but then at the other hand is like we're finally getting these things we kind of dreamt of when we were kids. Like when I was reading the EU as like a little kid, all I wanted to see was Han Solo and like his twin kids, like being awesome, and now we get big screen comic book movies that aren't on Marvel's part absolutely terrible and campy, and they're doing really well. So I'm hoping that we're going to see these changes and that like we'll be able to kind of approach it with like that non-cynical view, especially because it's going to be the next 10 years of our lives. Like, I'm just wondering if like we're going to get tired of it, you know? So, so usually we have a Q&A session like right about now, but it's kind of an off week, and Holland should probably be leaving in about 5 minutes.
I'm going to taping of the Meltdown show with Jonah.
Meltdown! Dude, I'm so excited.
On time. I won't be able to sit.
No worries. All right. So you know what? We are going to, for this week only, we're going to cut the cast just a little short just because we've had some time constraints and fuck ups on my part, and I apologize for that. But next week we will be back with Sarah. Where can we find you on the internet?
You can find me on the internet at Holland Farkas on Twitter and Facebook, also on Tumblr, Farkland on Instagram, and I have my YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/telltaleheartxo, because I want to change my URL, but you have to have like a certain amount of subscribers for YouTube to like deem you worthy enough to be like, hey, do you want to change this? So that hasn't happened yet. So I update usually once a week. It was on Thursdays. Things have been kind of crazy ever since like the Geek and Sundry stuff stopped, and I have a video that I need to edit. I've just been running around like a crazy person. If you guys are going to WonderCon, I'll be at WonderCon.
Yay, me too.
WonderCon.
Yeah, I've got nothing to do at WonderCon.
I am working the Geek and Sundry booth on Friday and Sunday, and I have a panel on Friday. But other than that, and then I should be at Star Wars Celebration. I don't know what other conventions I'm going to be at, because that's all in the works.
April's a nice busy month if you're a nerd in California right now. So, because we've got, I mean, I will be attending WonderCon. I am probably driving down to San Diego on Saturday to do Anime Kanji because they have alcohol. So I don't know. It's really, if it was anything but the like copious amounts of parties and alcohol, like I'm not there for the anime guys. Like I'm really not. I'm trying to avoid that shit. But and then I will also be at Celebration. But is there anything currently right now that like you want to throw a shout out to? Because usually we do chick picks, and we recommend like anything that we found recently that's like super cool.
Crap. What have I seen recently? I know I have stuff, and that's gonna drive me crazy. I'm trying to think what I've shared recently.
Or what's your most recent blog post about Geek and Sundry?
X-Files. Like,
Oh, right, that's right.
it's literally like I'm such a one-trick pony. It's like, oh, this girl likes the X-Files. Did you know that Holland likes the X-Files?
But in celebration of the X-Files coming back, Holland
Oh,
obviously wrote a cool blog, so
Oh my god.
check out.
X-Files. Oh, and I have a Buffy podcast.
That's right.
Yes, our
Promote your
first,
podcast.
I forgot. Okay, so I have a Buffy podcast with Omar Nishalam, who is one half of Two Broke Geeks, and our friend Chris Bermonti, who is a member of Robot Teammate and the Accidental Party. If you're familiar with their improv group, they're so good. They're like, I love going to see them because they're just like really, even though like I've seen their shows before and I know all of them, it's just like, oh wait, it's so good. It's really great. So we do a podcast on Buffy. Our 5th episode just went up on Tuesday. We update every Tuesday. We have guest stars usually. We talk to Sterling Gates, who's a comic book writer.
Nice.
We have recorded episodes with a lot of the past vloggers on Geek and Sundry, if you're fans of them. We're looking into getting people from Geek and Sundry Twitch, which is the new thing. It's just so like good. Everything's good there. We're all friends.
Synergy, and it's called Sunnydale Study Group.
Sunnydale Study Group. If
Just
you,
in case.
yeah, if you look it up on iTunes, even when you type in Sunnydale, we come up like right away, which is good.
Nice.
Yeah, we're doing really
That
well.
is really awesome.
We have a decent amount of followers and like numbers for just starting, so that's really exciting. And we haven't even gotten any like big celebrity guests yet, but everything is in the works. It's fun. If you like Buffy, if you've never seen it before, it's the perfect podcast to do a first-time watch with because we don't do spoilers. Also works for a rewatch. We're going to be putting up kind of like 2 episodes a season that kind of like discuss how the season relates to later seasons and stuff like that. So yeah.
Awesome. Well, my other chick pick is my other podcast, which just launched last week. It's called Mos Eisley Comic Port. If you enjoy the comics of Star Wars, make sure you go check it out. Last week we talked about Vader number 3. This week we are talking about Kanan number 1. And on off weeks we will be exploring the expanded universe. So old faithfuls, we will not forget you. We are Comics Mos Eisley on Twitter and Mos Eisley Comic Port on SoundCloud and Tumblr. And we're going to be up on iTunes as soon as I figure out what RSS feeds are. So we'll see you there. Until next time, I have been Catrina. She has been Holland Farkas. You guys can find us on the internets and on Twitter. And
it's cooler when I do this now because the hair.
Oh yeah, that does kind of pivot off your hair really well.
It works
nice.
really well. I'm very excited.
Oh, I'm so jealous of your hair. Well, see you guys later. Bye. Bye.